Hello and welcome to another episode of the We Don't Wanna podcast. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me as always, he's been real busy wanking it out the window. It's Zachary Attackery. It's real rough when you're about to hit completion and your mom walks in on you. Like that's
I might
just,
be into that though.
oh my god, that's just
little bit of edging.
we're just starting off on a lovely strong
Starting
note
off
here.
strong,
Yeah,
man.
starting off strong.
Starting off Harwin
Starting
strong,
off
man.
Lionel and Harwin strong. They're not doing so hot, or are they?
They're not starting. Oh,
They're pretty hot. Jesus Christ.
good.
We have to start over. We have to fucking start over. This is We Don't
have no
Wanna.
business being this funny in the beginning.
Yeah,
of an
I
episode.
don't know what's wrong with me tonight. This is Hot D, House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 6, The Princess and the Queen is what I have been informed this episode is called.
That is the title of the episode.
That apparently so. This is... There's a lot to unpack here.
There is both good and well, let's get into it.
Okay. I'll just say I don't have like any inherent problems with this episode. Like I don't think anything was poorly done.
Sure.
I'm more just like
It felt a little strange though, right?
It felt a little strange. I think I'm just my main takeaway from like the thought that kept popping up into my head throughout this episode was like, wow, all these people are real dum-dums. They are stupid. They are so fucking dumb. And that was true for like 95% of the characters. Just
I'm gonna need some examples. I never really felt like that.
Oh, you think Rhaenyra having bastard children with Harwin Strong is a good decision?
Okay.
You think that's a wise plan for her to do that?
I mean, I guess she could convince Laenor to stick it in.
Yeah, you got to do something. You got to do. You can't just.
Hey man, we have a duty, dude. Like you need to give
listen,
me, baby.
If we know anything from like Game of Thrones and how this goes, like Marjorie was certainly willing to like, do whatever it took to get the deed done. They could do something similar here.
There's a difference though. There's a character difference there. Marjorie was like, I need to do whatever I can to be in that position. Rhaenyra already feels like she's in that position and doesn't have a care in the world.
Well, then she's ultra super extra dumb because
sure.
She
Agreed.
absolutely is putting if our dude Viserys wasn't turning the blind eye, turning his old he lost an arm, but he also apparently lost both of his eyes because you're just really endangering everything. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. We should probably start at the top. And
I do want to say this. I also, after the episode, I sat there and I was like, what didn't I like? Because I felt a little.
You just felt strange.
Not in love with it.
Okay, fair.
But I also, I don't want to be the guy that's just coming in here and like talking shit about things without substance, without a reason. And I did kind of rack my brain, like and to your point, there wasn't anything specifically that I was like, well, that was bad,
right?
Or this was wrong,
right?
Or
there wasn't like bad filmmaking. There wasn't like crappy CGI. There wasn't bad acting. There wasn't really bad dialogue. But I agree, something still felt a little off.
And I don't know if that's just a product of the time jump.
It
and
could
that's just
be,
like
and it very well could be.
I want to come out and say this. I don't know how you feel about this. I did have a chat with Chaz, and I know how he feels about this. Mm-hmm. But I want to say this for the record before I have your influence on me. I think all the recastings have been fine, and I'm not afraid of like the passing of the torch.
No, agreed.
What I
I
you do? Okay, good.
actually was like legitimately impressed. Specifically Allison's new actress. Like how similar they look and like the mannerisms and the way they talk. I had to remind myself several times like, oh yeah, we're not actually
who I've been
right.
watching.
This isn't actually the same actress. This isn't 10 years. They didn't film this over a 10-year time.
Right.
So that one was truly impressive. And I thought Rhaenyra looked a lot like her mom specifically, and also
dude, yeah, my note there, like especially in the birthing scene, because I feel like that's the most like Emma that we saw on screen. Yeah, dude, like shocking resemblance to Emma. Is it Emma or Emma?
Emma, I don't know.
The mom.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a lot of similarities between her and young Rhaenyra, but definitely more so leaning towards the mom, which I think is totally fine.
For sure.
I don't have any problems with it.
I don't have any either. Like I said, the Allison one I think is truly impressive.
Yes. Her name is Elizabeth Stone.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
She was in the show Bates Motel.
I feel like I'd seen her somewhere before.
She's good, man. Like, and this was old, so she's much younger. Like she's probably a teenager in Bates Motel, and she was fantastic in that too.
Cool.
So yeah, good for her, man. I'm glad she's
for
doing
sure
fun things. I think I just felt like discombobulated. I think this episode.
I can feel that. It felt like we were playing catch up in a lot of ways, and I mean intentionally so. But I also just kind of like, I'm not mad at the fact that they did a time jump, but I'm also just kind of like, I was having a good time though. I kind of would have liked to have seen what was happening. Like I'm enjoying being in this world. I kind of just, you can't just give me more of it. So I'm kind of conflicted about it, I guess. Like I'm not mad about the time jump, but there is an aspect there of like, was it really necessary though?
Well, I think that it was, and maybe at this point, maybe not. Maybe we could have spent some more time in the past.
Sure.
Any other big happenings? Like I don't know, maybe building a relationship with Harwin Strong.
Yeah, that's
like a couple of those types of things would have been great to see. Like I get that, like we need to get there.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how long the show will be.
Sure. And I wonder if that's also a byproduct of they didn't know how it would be received before they released it. So they were like,
I want to say like the day or the second day after episode 1 came out, HBO like said, all right, we're doing it season 2.
Sure. So,
I mean, like you have to understand and appreciate that like these writers and directors have to operate in like
under the assumption that this is it, maybe.
Right. So I get that. And to be fair, like even despite like maybe wanting to see more of like these relationships form or these tensions build, like one of the things I loved this episode was the Harwin Strong Kristen Cole tension.
Yes.
I loved that. It was so interesting. But I would have loved to see that develop.
Yes, and now I'm mad we won't see more of that, because I 100% agree that dynamic was very good.
It was so cool.
Yes. Also, my boy Kristen went to Damon's Supercuts barber and got himself a sexy-ass new haircut.
Fresh little cut.
Yeah,
he looks good, man.
That thing looks real good. R.I.P. to Supercuts Damon, by the way. I miss him already. R.I.P. to my dude.
So let's actually jump in, man. Like let's go through this. What a fucked up move, like to Rhaenyra having just like birthed this child and Allison being like, "Hey, I want to see your baby."
Yes. Allison has in the early episodes such just kind of a very meek but like kind-hearted young girl is now just like kind of a dick, but not without reason, I feel like.
Not without reason. I thank you for saying that,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's important to say that, like, anybody who loved Allison last episode
Mhm.
and loved that she showed up and was powerful and
Yes.
was like, I'm gonna take a stand, and like, I believe in my son being,
Yes.
like, and we loved that because
Mhm.
a lot of people loved that.
Yeah. You
If
better
there's
not.
problems,
You better not be
if
mad
there's
at her now.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and like, honestly, even now, she's still just kind of like like what's the word? Just like not very no finesse in the way that she's going about. Like, she's just
Sure.
like, she knows like this is wrong,
Yeah.
and she's got her opinions about it, but she's not really like playing
Mhm.
or scheming to get there. Uh
Yeah.
and I feel like this episode is cultivating that for her,
Sure.
which I'm excited for.
Yeah, no, yeah, listen, I'm not trying to call her out as being like, "Oh, what a bitch Allison is." Like, no, like she is rightfully, I feel like, angry at Rhaenyra and kind of the position that Rhaenyra has put herself in.
Yes.
And it's such a weird, awkward dynamic because they used to be friends, and obviously her dad is, or Rhaenyra's dad is her husband, and he doesn't want to believe what everyone else knows is obviously true. Because also, to Viserys's point, that would probably end up in war and tearing the realm apart. So it is an interesting and weird, like, dynamic between, I guess, kind of the three of them. I want to say also, like, I did not expect Viserys to be still kicking around.
Yeah, dude, that was my
Like,
next
that's
note,
my
was just
fucking
like,
guy.
dude, fucking live long and prosper, my guy.
He's like, that my dude's a cockroach. You just can't kill him.
Wait, isn't live long and prosper?
That's a Star Trek thing.
Yeah, that's what I knew that.
Yeah, okay, sure you did. But yeah, I guess they chopped that arm off.
V for Viserys.
Yeah,
man.
for Viserys, 100%. I guess they chopped off that arm, and he's doing better. He's still not great, but I mean, hey, he lasted 10 whole years, so.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Like, would have loved to see that, like, decline and like fear for like his life,
Sure.
because I feel like that probably happened, like, especially like at the end of last episode. Because look, when the king dies, there is going to be
unrest,
this like shuffle,
yeah,
madness,
yeah,
right? And it would have been kind of interesting storytelling wise for the viewer to get like just a little taste,
right?
Just a little taste of that, like maybe directly after what we saw last episode, thinking that he's going to die, and like Rhaenyra and Alicent and the High Towers or whoever, like trying to scramble to like get their shit together.
There's no way they do like flashback and show us some of what happened in the intervening years.
I would love that. I love when as long as it's done well.
Sure.
I love when a TV show does like the two time periods.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
it can be great.
I agree, but I don't think they're gonna do it at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I think they've moved on completely.
They need to move forward,
and I'm not mad about it. Like you said, I do appreciate that kind of thing when it's done well, but I don't think they're gonna.
True Detective.
True Detective. Hell yeah.
God damn, True Detective. Man.
Season one. Season one.
Yeah, let's get some clarity.
Let's clarify season one. Yeah, still a dick move by Alicent. Poor Rhaenyra is bleeding all over the place. And we start to see the very strange relationship that her and Laenor have. And then it's just like out of nowhere, out of the blue, it was a bit shocking and strange. It's like, oh, Harwin Strong is the actual father of these children. And I'm just like, boy, you could have like peppered in like a 1 or 2 interactions between the two of them. Like, I know you were kind of doing the whole her and Kristen Cole thing, and you had to build that up, but just like
you have to build it to make the turn, which I agree with.
Right. But just like have them interact once. Like, did they ever interact once?
They did, yes,
I don't
but
remember
like
it at all.
extremely briefly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that might be, well, that and one other thing that I do actually take problem with, because I had some expectations that were set and
Sure.
unfortunately are not going to be seen through. But okay, I need to call this out.
Okay, call it out.
Allison's child, Egon.
Oh,
His wig is garbage, dude.
I just all of their children just suck. Like, I don't like any of them.
I don't think Jace is bad. The eldest of Rhaenyra.
He participated in that pig thing with the other one,
That's true.
Which was a real dick just move, like just so uncalled for. Like,
yeah.
That's your.
No, you're right.
No, they're not cousins, are they? What are they? I don't even know.
I don't fucking know. You're gonna ask how they're related
in a Targaryen
family?
Yeah. Whatever they are, like, that's just my dude. He doesn't have a dragon and obviously feels bad about it. Don't give him that shit as well. Yeah. All those kids kind of suck. The one doesn't seem as bad. Aemond, I think is his name.
Yes, Aemond.
He doesn't seem as bad, but boy, Aegon is just a little fucker. Like, fuck that.
Yeah,
kid.
I mean, the only thing that I kind of appreciated was like his just like. When
I don't really care.
Him,
yeah.
He's like, then I won't challenge for like, okay, and then I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, dude, basically this kid is like, I'm highborn and like I can do whatever I want. I don't fucking care, dude.
I just want to snort cocaine and jerk it off the balcony.
I was so caught off guard. What are we watching, man?
I know, like, just the slow pan up. I'm like, what the fuck are we even doing here? That's Aegon, I guess. That's just show us what kind of a person he is.
There was, so I feel like that's why that's what struggled this episode is like there's these young characters that need to be established now, and like you're hindsight now it's obvious, like, okay, the ones with the black hair are Rhaenyra's. the blonde or platinum hair ones are obviously Alicent's, but they're just, it just didn't feel cohesive and it didn't flow in my opinion, because as a viewer you're like really like doing a lot of mental gymnastics to like piece it all together.
Right.
But at the end of the day, from what I know of this story, is that even from the book Fire and Blood, obviously, if any book readers who are listening, please correct me if I am misunderstanding this, but just kind of what I've gotten through, like hearsay and stuff like that, like what is actually written of the Dance of Dragons, which is this civil war that we're supposed to see here, is it all, like, there's nothing written of them, of Rhaenyra and Alicent when they're young. Like we don't see any of it. It's all basically now. Is when like the story is told in the book. So I do appreciate that the show said, hey, let's back it up a little bit and like establish these characters, and I'm very appreciative of that because they did an incredible job.
I agree.
But it did make us, well, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like you agree. Now we have this longing for continuing that.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some road bumps with that.
And hopefully they will continue to like build up and develop now all these like new characters we have and the kids and everything.
I don't
but I don't know that I want
want to build up. I don't want, I was so terrified when we were getting all these children. I was like, oh, dude, like this better not be centered around the kids. These are not our new protagonists.
Get ready for 5 more episodes of wanking it on balconies, Zachary. I agree. I I don't know. I don't even know where I was gonna go. What happens is next to like the training scene, kind of
Yeah, training
basically
ground.
after that.
Let's talk about that.
I love.
That's fantastic.
Yes, I love how Viserys, my naive son, is just like, oh, isn't this grand, Lionel? They'll train together and learn to be best buds and la-di-da.
Dude, he is so hopeful.
Oh
man.
my god! And Lionel's just standing back there and just like, yeah, if you say so, my guy. That's the hope, I guess.
One could hope.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. Meanwhile, fucking sick haircut Kristen Cole and Harwin Strong are just eye lasering holes through each other.
God, I am so heartbroken.
Yeah,
we're not going to see more.
I am too. Because I was like, yeah, I am too. I just don't know what else to say about that. I am.
In such a short period of time, I was like, yo, I fuck with Harwin Strong.
See, I didn't. I don't.
Oh man, I did.
In the Discord, there's been a lot of like talk and like build up about the whole Harwin Strong thing, and I was just like, I guess I don't get it. Like, I don't know what the joke or the meme here is, or is this like a thing from the books? But now I really don't get it because he's gone, and I'm just like, fuck this guy. Who the hell is he? I don't give a shit about him.
He's just kind of been displayed as like kind of an idiot, but like strong and
I guess.
I don't know.
The only
he's also hot, dude.
He's not that. Not compared
he's
to
pretty
not
hot,
compared to my boy
He's not
Kristen.
pretty boy hot like the way that Kristen Cole is, but like he's hot.
He
man.
looks
like
like
he can chop down a tree and then chop down my ass.
I don't know. Harwin gives me the vibe of like this dude was like the star quarterback in high school, but now he's like washed up and still wearing his Letterman jacket when he's like 40, and like just works down in the mines.
You kind of are.
That's the vibe that Harwin gives me. It's like he once thought was super cool, but now he's just kind of this. Like, he's the commander of the City Watch. Like, fuck off, dude. Who gives a shit about that? You're Jano Slint 2.0.
Does give him a little shit talking. He's like says something like about like him having never seen like real battle.
Right. Which again I believe, and also again, dumb Harwin, you cannot let yourself be just goaded into that. Like,
yeah,
you're so stupid, buddy. You're so dumb. Didn't get any of his. So all of Lionel's brains went to old Larry, apparently. And none to our boy Harwin. Man, I'm real sad. So is the implication that Lionel is gone too now?
Yes.
Dude, that fucking sucks.
It does suck, dude.
I loved Lionel.
Yeah.
Lionel was my guy.
Yeah, Lionel was real fucking good. So I want to talk about my biggest disappointment.
Okay.
And not in a way of like now I have so like for this episode showed us like what could have been a really cool feud that I would have loved to see, and I like that is probably a bigger disappointment that we will never see that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the show having created an expectation and then not delivered was simply that Vhagar is just here now.
Yeah, I was like
very disappointed.
Am I hearing this right? Like that's just Vhagar? I was like,
yeah, just okay.
Because it was episode 2, right, where Viserys basically told the story like, yeah, she's nesting off somewhere and nobody's seen her, nobody's knows
seen her
like
years.
Yeah, that's...
like there was this kind of like mystical like aspect of her.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to see that interaction.
Yep.
How do they like retame her or whatever, right? Like
it's like no, it just happened during the last 10
happened.
years. Yeah.
Lena, who by the way, she's so hot.
Yeah.
Lena is smoking hot, dude.
That's fair.
She is gorgeous. Semi-young Lena too. Like whenever she meets Daemon, I don't think we even mentioned this last episode. but like the younger,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah.
obviously not the child version of her, like the last episode version of her,
Right.
where her like she dances with Damon.
Mhm.
I was like, dang, like she's
Yeah.
really cute. Adult Lena?
Yeah. You're digging her wig then, like
I am
her
doing
wig
it
is
out
acceptable.
the window, bro. Picturing her face in the clouds, man.
Dude, yeah. So when we first get the first Pentos scene, I'm like, hell yeah, it's my favorite long boy. I'm always excited to see him. And then this other dragon flies in, and I'm like, boy,
That's a
I was
big
like,
dragon.
that dragon looks big as hell. And then like they're riding and everything. I was like, why is this dragon hairy? This dragon must be old as hell. And then it's like, yeah, no, this is Vagar. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see. Now all that makes sense. But then, yes, again, my immediate reaction was
so
like,
disappointed.
wait, what? That just happened somehow?
Yeah.
During the last 10
Yeah.
years? Yeah, that was a bummer.
Yes. Very, very. Again, like let me clarify. Had the story started now and been like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I
Well,
would accept that.
but I also wouldn't want that because the stuff that came before was
No.
all mostly
no,
really good.
No. I know that's
Yeah.
not at all what I'm saying.
No,
I'm
I
just saying
know,
like
I know.
I would accept that and say, okay, this is where we're picking up.
Right.
But now it's like, damn,
You can't-
You set up some stuff that could have been so cool.
Right, you can't drop that tease, that hint in the second episode, and then just fast forward right past it, is what you're saying. I
Yeah.
agree.
So anyway, that's a whole thing. But
here's another thing I felt was just a little
that was a good noise you made.
off. The decision to commit Dragonfire suicide seems like just like an odd choice for the
I ate it up.
situation.
I loved it. I liked it a lot. Was it practical? Probably not.
Just like
I mean, did it get the job done?
I mean,
Hell
it got
yeah.
the job done. I'm just okay. So is the implication that they were both gonna die anyway, and she was just tired of the pain and wanted to end it?
She had just like she told us what was gonna happen before it even happened. When she told Damon that she wants to die a Dragon Rider's death. Like,
yes, that seems still a bit of a stretch.
She's like, this is how, like, she talks about how she wants to die. Well, she was dried too, with Damon, and then she sees them talking about like, well, do we cut her open to try and save the child?
Yeah.
Child's probably not going to survive anyway, and she's like, yo, how about I just go out my own way? This is how I want to go anyway.
I guess, but she also
she's sad,
yes,
like,
okay, I get all that, but also she wasn't like overly unhappy. She was like, because she's like,
dude, but she was gonna die though. Like she would have died not
Yeah.
being able to birth the child.
I guess
She knew that.
It just seemed like a bit of a jump because like when she talked with Damon, she was like, listen, I've come to terms with this, you know, I'm not like upset about it. She seemed way more stable, and then she was also talking about like, I want to go home. I want to see Driftmark again. I want to see my brother again. So then she just jumps straight to, well, no, fuck all that. I guess I'm going to die.
I think I have to take it that she knew that she was going to die because of this childbirth.
I guess so. I just
like this childbirth was going to kill her.
There seemed to be a step missing there for me. It was just like,
that's fair.
Damon has the conversation with the surgeon that she may or may not have overheard, and now she's stumbling out of the castle, asking Vagar to
like,
turn that shit on high.
Maybe just back it up like 5 minutes where they are struggling through her labor and not being able to get the child out and like worried for her safety.
Yeah.
And her acknowledging like, I might die.
Yeah. Like, listen, I'm not gonna like belabor the point to make a big deal about it. It just seemed like there was a jump.
Labor the point.
God damn it. I did, yeah. All right, fair enough. It just seemed like there was a half step missing there for me, where I was just like, oh, that seems like you are just jumping straight to 11.
Yeah, it was still cool though.
Yeah.
And she was hot.
She was hot at the end. Vagar sure
True.
turned that shit on high. I do love it. The CGI they did for Vagar I thought was very, very good, because they they did a good job of making it like, oh, this dragon is old. This
shit.
old ass dragon.
Yo, this dragon got cataracts.
Yeah, this dragon got cataracts. Like, its mouth is all fucked to hell. There's just like teeth going every which way. Yeah. Vagar has like all kinds of like dentures and like bridges and crowns. Yeah.
Bridges and crowns.
Yeah, man. Like, I appreciate that. It's just like, yo, this dragon beat
got
old.
A hangnail.
Hangnail?
Yeah, old people always get hangnails, bro.
What? I don't think that's common knowledge about,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Anyway.
Bunions.
Yeah, Vagar. Oh, dude. Vagar will never shut up about her bunions, man. What happens next? I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, you're good. Well, hold on. So let's talk about this really quickly. I am curious on.
Oh, like Daemon?
This offer that's made to Daemon. Yeah. So.
Oh, also, hold on, real quick.
Okay.
We have to call out the fact that Daemon has lost 2 wives in back-to-back episodes.
Yeah.
I would love to see him go on a streak where he just loses a wife every episode.
Well, I feel like I still think he's gonna end up marrying Rhaenyra.
I still think so too, for sure.
I mean, hey, he might lose Rhaenyra.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's actually, first off, they're meeting there in where are they?
Pentos. They're in Pentos.
Pentos. Okay, so they're in Pentos. And they were there as guests, like they were invited there to basically strike a deal. Right? Is that how you understand
this? Is exactly. I'm assuming this is a are they called magisters or magistrates? I can't remember. Like important, wealthy people of the free cities, like our dude Illyrio from the very first episode of Game of Thrones would be a great example.
Magister.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Magister Illyrio. This is, I get the vibe, this is like our Illyrio stand-in, is who this guy is, basically.
Okay.
And I think they're in danger of going to war with with like the Triarch? Or the, is that
with the,
Triarch?
The Triarchy. They basically, basically, there's somebody new who is standing in as the crown person.
Right.
Like, they struck an alliance with Dorne, and then whatever free city down there, and whoever this other third party is.
And now Pentos is like, hey, you've got dragons, help us fight these fuckers, basically.
Right. I guess my question really is coming more from a place of like, I'm not sure I fully understood this, or maybe I misunderstood, so I wanted to see what your thoughts were. Lena really made it seem like they had been like gone for a very long time.
Agreed. It seems like maybe they've been traveling the east for a while.
Okay.
I don't know that for a fact, but that's just what it... Because even the way like they talked at the small council meeting, like Viserys and Rhaenyra and whoever it was, I can't even remember, it sounded like it was almost like Daemon just kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
Right.
And there's like nobody really knows where he is.
So different.
Dude, Daemon?
Yeah, I mean, like his character change, like it's almost like his marriage with Lena like really like grounded.
He seems way more like reserved and like calm.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I think this is just a product of me trying to piece together like what happened the last 10 years. You know what I mean? With it, like in the show, is like I'm noticing that he's different. Is this intentional? Like, are we supposed to understand that like Lena did ground him, and now that she's gone, like all shit's gonna break loose? Like, but yeah, like very noticeable. Like he was just like, you know, I don't want to have to mess with all that politicking and like
it's just kind of over
there. Yeah.
Are we assuming that the daughter is gonna end up writing Vagar?
Yes. Yeah. Are you kidding me with that conversation?
Yeah, I thought so.
I mean, dude. It could also, to be fair, could also be Aemond.
Oh, sure. Nah, yeah, with that conversation, it's got to be her.
Yeah, it's got it.
But yeah, I guess Daemon from here is gonna help him. Like, I mean, It's just he's in a, like, he seemed like he wanted to do it, was planning on doing it, but now his wife is gone.
It seems to be the catalyst in his story is fighting at the Stepstones. Like, that's his.
That's just his go-to.
It's
That's
just
like,
fighting.
that's his
That's what he
fallback
does.
plan. It's just like, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll go fight in the Stepstones.
Yeah, dude. That's, I don't know. I will say,
he's either losing a wife or fighting in the Stepstones. There's no in between for this, or he's currently being banished.
Yeah, definitely. Not he. Excuse me. There seems to be a couple things that are like very common and reoccurring already in 6 episodes, like the struggles with childbirth.
Definitely.
We've seen over again. Him losing a wife. And then like Dorn and the Stepstones seems to be just like a real problem. And I guess
was
maybe
the Dorn
like,
thing a problem before? Because I don't remember.
it wasn't specifically Dorn, but I mean it was in the Stepstones.
Right.
Like,
Okay. Sure.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I am just not as much of a Song of Ice and Fire like history nerd as I maybe thought, but like I didn't know that like the Stepstones and Dorn always like had problems.
Yeah. Listen,
was a Dorn in their side.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Scott, so when I was like, you know what, I want to drink a wine tonight. By the way, # not sponsored.
Dornish wine.
No. Okay. Yeah. No, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get this one because Scott will appreciate it.
Oh, will I? 7 Deadly Zins. That's wow.
It's a Zinfandel.
Great pun work.
Yeah.
Why would I
like that? Don't you like that anime?
I used to. It kind of.
Did it fall off?
Yeah, it had a real good second season, and then it kind of went to shit.
You really wanted me to get into that, so I'm glad to know that it's not great. Now I'm never gonna watch it.
Well, you don't watch anything I recommend to you, so what the fuck else is new? Anyway, okay. Before I forget. Shouts to my dude Eddard, the model maker. Like, fuck yes. Just like that little, I was just like, Eddard, the model maker. Hell yeah. Let's go, dude. That's my new favorite character, by the way.
He's actually a descendant of Bran the Builder.
Yes. And
Makes sense. He inherited his model making
from Bran the Builder.
From Bran the Builder. Yeah. Done.
Checks
History.
out. He's helping Viserys rebuild Valyria at 1/16th scale. For sure.
One toothpick at a time.
Just don't let the dragons anywhere near it. What else? What else happens in this episode?
Okay.
What else is next?
So, also, I'm sorry, we're not moving away from the East yet. I just wanted to call out one of Damon's lines. He goes, "Did he happen to mention that child? If that child has a striking resemblance to the commander of the city?"
I'm glad my boy David is still absolute savage. That's good stuff. Even though he lost his supercut status, still a savage. Still a certified savage.
Okay, so let's go to the small council meeting.
Yeah, the most awkward small council meeting ever.
The amount of times that we see Viserys go...
Dude.
Fuck.
Shouts to Lord Beesbury, who has no fucking clue what's going on.
Dude, that guy is me in real life always, bro.
You're like 10 minutes behind the conversation. Dude. I still want to know what the little ball in the little trays in front of them is for. Like, what the fuck is that about?
I don't know
either. But yeah, poor Viserys just has his daughter and his wife at each other's fucking throats, and he's just like, can't we all just get along, please?
Dude, his constant, like, head in hand.
Yes, dude.
Sign.
He's only got one hand to put his head in.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny to me. Like, this dude wanted a way.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, but so the end of the scene, very good. Or I mean, I liked the whole scene from start to finish, but the bigger part of it was Rhaenyra being like, "Hold on, I have something to say."
Right.
which I thought was kind of a power move in its own because there's just a lot of power dynamic.
Yeah.
Like
the queen tries to dismiss the meeting.
Correct.
And Rhaenyra's like, wait, no, hold on. I'm the heir. I need to say something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Viserys is like, okay. Yeah. And Alicent stays standing.
Yes.
Which was kind of a baller move. I'm on team baller move. I don't love either one of them.
I want team
baller
move.
But like that, I was like, damn. Like she bad.
Yeah, I honestly don't know where. I'm not fully on Alicent's side, but I'm definitely not on Rhaenyra's side. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
I really liked the scene where Lionel tries to resign as Hand.
Yes, that's one of my next notes.
Also, we skipped over it, but I liked the other big scene he had where he was talking to his son. I thought that scene was really good, where he was talking to Harwin and basically like,
where Rhaenyra
where
off.
she's listening in basically.
Yes,
that was a good scene. I love that Lionel is like, hey, listen, like I'm nobody's fool. Like you can try and like bullshit everyone else, but I'm your father.
What fucking bums me out, dude, about that is like you get these incredible scenes where you're vested in these characters and like in their dialogue, in their decisions, in their relationships, and then they're gone, which so is the curse of Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
But it's not only that, but like in Game of Thrones, you lose characters left and right, yes, and we should come to expect that. But there's always somebody there to replace that character.
Sure.
Like there's always somebody there to give what that character gave to the show in terms of, again, in terms of dialogue, in terms of like decision making. And I feel like decision making is a really big one. That's such an underestimated like character quality, I guess.
My favorite thing,
Yes, decision making. No, but like it's just so boring when like you're watching characters who this like things happen to them.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Rather
yes.
than people who are making these decisions that like affect the realm.
Right.
Which I think is another reason why we love Viserys so much. Is like even though he is weak and he is naive and whatnot, like he does affect literally everything.
Yes.
And him being so humanizing, you know, is like, I get it. I get where he's coming from. I get why he's making these decisions. And he is also played by Paddy Considine, who's doing an incredible job.
He's doing an incredible job. There's not like, there's not like a ton to call out like lines he had specifically, but he just continues to be interesting to me because again, we've said it plenty of times, but he is just kind of a pretty ordinary dude that is doing kind of the best he can in his ultra shitty situation.
Yeah.
Where, his wife and his daughter are basically mortal enemies now, and he is like sickly and dying, and he doesn't want to see his family implode, like before he dies, basically, or ever. But obviously, like I think he understands that he's probably not going to be around a ton longer. Although I didn't expect him to be around this long, so who the fuck knows? And he just is doing everything he can to basically avoid that conflict exploding. Like when she makes the offer, and he's basically, this is such a generous offer. Like, come on, like this is all good stuff, and. She views it as an insult, obviously. Alicent
it is, especially, I mean, really, is it actually like, these are bastard
Yes,
children?
no, it's 100%, like, Alicent is 100% correct. She's like, these are bastard children, and she's backed into a corner, and she knows it. Like, this isn't her extending an olive branch. This is her plain kind of...
this is her pleading.
Yes, this is not... She doesn't have many cards on the table. This is her plain one of the few she has. So Alicent is rightfully basically like, fuck that. But yeah, again, our dude Viserys is just like trying to keep the peace and failing most of the time.
So it's interesting, like how I have to give some credit here to, if all again, just to reiterate, never read Fire and Blood, don't know how this is written, I don't know how these characters work in the books. But if this is all a product of how George Martin wrote these characters, just a ton of credit needs to be given to the fact that like they are so misconstrued and just like you just so conflicted, and as the viewer, as the reader, like you feel conflicted, like who do I go for here?
Yep.
And I love that,
Yeah.
dude. It is so challenging. Chaz called me before we hopped on. We talked for a little bit, and he's like, I don't know, like what team are you on?
Right.
Like,
yes.
It's not that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's not.
It's so fucked up because like Allison could easily be like, all right, like, you know what? Everybody's already pledged to Rhaenyra. Fine.
Right.
Sure. And the story would be done.
Yep.
But Rhaenyra's dumb.
Oh,
She's
so
doing dumb things.
She's so dumb.
She is just kind of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
I feel like. She seems more reserved in this episode, but she has been a loose cannon.
She just kind of does whatever she wants whenever she wants.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like the consequences be damned, it seems like.
And so as like somebody who like appreciates like in fantasy when there's like the honor code,
Sure.
like I like that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, well then it should be Rhaenyra, Team Rhaenyra. And then she's going and having bastard children, and it's like,
yeah.
Come on. Okay.
See, that is what's great about this world that George has created, and I'm sure he's not the first to do it, so don't take me that way, but you know,
I'll take you however I want, my guy.
Your standard fantasy trope is like, you know, good versus evil. And this show, this world is like anything but that. Like you said, it's like, okay, well, like, who do I fucking root for? Like, who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? There are no truly good guys. There are no truly bad guys.
Yes.
There are probably some truly bad guys. But the shades of gray is truly what makes it interesting. And I'm like, you know, I said it earlier, like, I know I'm definitely not Team Rhaenyra, but I'm also not 100% Team Alicent. I was 100% Team Lionel. So much for that. And so now I'm just looking around at like, I like Daemon, but he's the ultimate wild card. I have no fucking clue what he's ever doing. Obviously,
dude, he's wild style.
He is absolute wild style. He's just jumping through windows. Viserys,
man,
obviously, yeah,
that
that
like
is
three people are gonna
three,
get.
yeah, maybe two. I love Viserys, obviously, but he's not gonna be around for long. It's just like, yeah, I don't know who I'm going to be like pulling for going forward. It's so wild.
they're definitely like, okay, Otto will probably come back.
I am stoked to see Otto again.
Okay, but other than that,
Larry be making plays, by the way.
Yeah, let's talk about him for a second, actually, because we need to. His monologue at the end of this episode was insanely good.
It's so creepy.
It was
that dude gives
so
off the
good.
creepiest vibes of all time. It
was
like, very good. You are correct.
We don't get scenes like that in game. Like, we've never had scenes like that in Game of Thrones where it's like almost feels like narration, talking like and panning through different scenes, and I really liked it.
It was very like indulgent, like, you know, just like, let's just let him have like, and it's not really, again, it's not like really a villain monologue, but it almost has that sense to it. I mean, I guess he did just like murder a bunch of people. He's,
I mean, like,
it's pretty villainous. I guess he did burn a bunch of people in their beds, so it was pretty villainous. Cut these dudes' tongues out.
Dude.
Yeah, Larry. Also, I am interested to see where Larry goes. Wait, also, shit, that's his family. I just realized.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I totally forgot about that. That's his father and his brother. Goddamn.
Yes.
Oh shit. Yeah, Larry be making moves.
Dude, he is stone cold.
Yeah,
man. This guy is fucking ruthless. I'm a fan.
I think I'm kind of a fan too.
Yeah.
Is that
Chaz-
like a firefly or just some other kind of bug? I couldn't really tell. Is that like his little mark, his little sigil thing?
Oh, is that what that was? I
It's
don't
some
know.
kind of bug.
To me, it looked like a June bug.
Yeah, I don't think fireflies are that big. Let's just say that. Anyway, whatever it was, doesn't.
A little beetle.
I get maybe I made the firefly connection in my head because he's literally burning them.
Because you love the band Owl
No,
City.
definitely not. I fucking hate that song so much. If I had a million I don't even know what the fuck he says. It's so goddamn annoying. Anyway, continue. What were you gonna say?
Dude, there was a band teacher in when I was in high school. His name, I probably shouldn't say his name.
He definitely
I made
listens
him cry
to the
once,
podcast
actually, because he was an ultra fucking cunt. But his height of fame and like his peak of life is that he was friends with the drummer of Owl City.
That's not the peak of anything.
There's a drummer in that
Wait,
band?
yeah, wait,
Like, what does he
also
do, push buttons?
I thought Owl City was literally like one dude in his mom's basement, like on a keyboard.
It probably started like that, but like to play live shows, like they have a full band.
Fuck Owl City is all I have to say. Fuck that band and fuck that. Owl City, I hope you're listening to this podcast because you can go to hell. They're probably fine human beings. I don't know.
Better music.
I just really hate that song. But yes, make better music.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Fireflies. Larry be making moves big time.
Laris, right? Laris is his actual name.
Laris is
right?
his actual name, but that's too close to Varys, and I like calling him Larry because it makes me laugh.
Good old Larry.
Alicent is like, see, it seemed to me like she was definitely subtly giving him an order. Not like an order, but you know what I mean, like asking him to do this. But then she seems like horrified by what she's done.
So this is my take. Chaz asked me about this as well. And so because I've had a chance to talk through it, I kind of have like what I in my head makes sense.
Okay.
I think that she was asking for something to be done.
Sure.
Because she felt like nobody's on my side. And I need to make ground here.
But he took it farther than she wanted.
He interpreted it how he needed to.
Sure.
To get a result. But I feel like more importantly, I feel like at the end of this episode we see her be very taken aback.
Yeah.
I do think that that'll turn into her realizing like I need to take advantage of this and like play the game.
Okay, so you think she is going to go
is cultivating her to become more like scheming,
right?
And more...
I can see that she's gonna push all her chips in and
yes.
go all in, as opposed to I was almost thinking like I wonder if this will make her pull back and like take stock and be like, well, no, this isn't what I want. This isn't how I want it to be.
No, and I think
you're
that
probably
Otto
right.
showing back up is going to be the last thing, because it's like, all right, I got my people now. Like,
you're probably right.
They're out of the way, and I got Laris and Otto.
Because Larry even says to her, like, well, to be fair, like your father would not be unbiased either, you know, as him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see Otto again. I'm gonna miss Lionel. That was a good monologue, though.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, it definitely
solid ending to the episode for sure.
Definitely. So let's
Oh no. Oh no.
So Rhaenyra tells Laenor.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to Dragonstone, and he goes, "But Mom." And then she's like, "Hey, he can come." And Amanda, I'm sitting there like intently like taking notes, and Amanda's like, "Yes! Hey, my mom said you can come stay the night."
That's so funny. That's so funny. So accurate. Laenor's so kind of an idiot. Can we agree?
Yeah, Laenor's fucking dumb. I don't like him at all. He's gonna die soon. He's got to, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He's gonna go try and fight in the Triarchy war and die.
He's gonna super die, and
Super guy.
Rhaenyra and Daemon will end up together. I am so like, man, was that episode 2 where Daemon and her had the showdown on the bridge where we were buying Rhaenyra stock? Like, that just could not have she could not have taken a bigger nosedive for me. She's just,
I agree, man.
how can you see, maybe I would be more understanding of this love she had with Harwin if we had seen it. But I didn't see it, so I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot, and you have willingly put your offspring, your children, at great risk by birthing them as bastards. Like,
yes,
you're a fool.
Super good that you mentioned that. Because I agree completely.
Yeah.
I would have loved to care about their relationship,
Sure,
but
I don't.
we just don't.
Yeah. Who won this episode? Is a tough one.
Alicent. I mean, she's the only one making gains here. Getting
Rhaenyra.
taking the noids.
Getting swole. Eddard, the model builder. He's definitely making progress on that model. Yeah, Rhaenyra's doing shitty. The Strongs are out. Larry is a candidate, but he kind of works for Alicent, essentially.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Alicent again.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
Speaking of, hold on, I have to call this out real quick because this is so funny. We talked a lot last week about obviously the green dress moment, one of the biggest moments in the episode. So when I went to work Monday morning and was discussing with my coworkers, mainly my boy Marcus.
Shouts to Marcus.
Shouts to Marcus. I totally forgot that he is super colorblind. Like, even worse than Chaz. So he had no idea that she was wearing a green dress. Like, that whole scene went, like, partially over his head because he was listening to the podcast and he was like, yeah, when your boy was talking about her wearing the green dress, I was like, oh, now that makes sense. And I'm like, shit, that must suck to, like, lose out on context for this scene just because you're colorblind.
Being colorblind must suck,
yeah,
dude.
Dude,
hey, your fucking kind of disability sucks, guy.
I just think that's so funny because he did not know she was wearing the green dress until we talked about it. He was listening to the pod.
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
I think it goes to Alicent. Yeah,
I think it goes to Alicent. I am just so much more a fan of a character who is like has some type of like maneuvering finesse and is like moving through decisions and like,
see, I don't think she's super finesseful yet. Finesseful? Is that a word?
Finesseful. Yeah. It's a word.
But maybe she'll get there.
She's trying. Like she's trying to make like moves and plays and understand like she has an understanding of the playing field.
She's not sitting idly by. Is the biggest thing. She's like talking to Aegon, trying to keep him from being a total dipshit. And like, you know, trying to like talk sense into her husband.
Happen, by the way.
Definitely not gonna happen. She's not like fully succeeding at all these things all the time, but she's not just a spectator. She's like attempting to do things. So
yes.
In an episode where it's like almost all L's, I think it goes to her.
Yeah, I felt kind of uneasy about it after the episode, and I turned to Amanda and I was like, "Did you like this episode?" And I just need to give credit where it's due because Amanda had a great take. Mm-hmm. She was like, "I didn't love it the way that it was, but I feel like once we see the rest of the story, it's going to be a standout episode, and like now it's good.
Sure,
now a lot happens that is like." For future episodes.
I can definitely see that because I was also thinking a lot about like previous episodes. I had a thought of like, I wonder how in retrospect we'll view these episodes. Like, will these episodes be as good or, you know, whatever they are once we have the full context of, you know, what it all meant. So that's a good call out from Amanda. What are you gonna rate it?
I think I'm gonna go a 6.5.
I think I'll go 7. Like, there was nothing I, like, super disliked about it. Obviously, we talked about the quibbles we had. But I don't think there was anything that, like, super turned me off either.
Sure, I think, you know what, this is, okay, this episode, quality-wise, could easily be a 7 to 7.5, in my opinion. I feel that because episode 6 has the unfortunate job of playing pickup and piece together, it's not as viewer-friendly on first watch.
Agreed.
So for that, I think that's what knocks it down to, 6.5. I'm gonna go with 6.5.
I think that's a totally fair take. And like I said, maybe we'll view this episode differently in retrospect, but
sure.
Where we're at now, we both seem kind of lukewarmish. So take that as you will. Any final thoughts, Zachy boy?
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Other than, if you guys are new here, like, subscribe, hang out with us on the rest of this journey. We're also going through Game of Thrones right now. If you guys are, maybe doing a rewatch of Game of Thrones, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at We Don't Want a Pod. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff, and vice versa.
Shouts to everybody in the Discord, by the way, because I think the funniest Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon meme I've ever seen got shared not long after this episode. So if you're interested in seeing that, go check out the Discord.
Yeah. If you guys want to join the Discord, shoot us a DM or an email, and we'll get you guys an invite link for that.
I gotta see who that is and give him a shout out, because
Chaz insisted that we give him credit.
No, he's a fucking idiot. Caden Gravely. Caden, good on you. That meme made me laugh for like a solid 5 minutes. Zach can attest. Very, very good.
Hold on, no. Chaz insisted.
Fuck off, Chaz! Like,
Chaz insisted.
He texted immediately afterwards.
Apparently, I don't even remember him calling this
I
out.
don't remember us talking about this.
Apparently, he was like, I think that one of the Valerians is gonna ride Vhagar. You know what I think? I think Chaz has spoiled some shit for himself.
I think A, that, and I think B, he's also full of shit, and C, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fucking shit, Chaz. I love you to death, you fucking asshole. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. That's gonna do it for us. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.